Say what's on my mind, sip on fine wine. Listen to my thoughts, unfiltered, relax, recline. Today we got some time, how nice of you to join. Listen to my thoughts, true facts you'll find. God gave me brain, what a tool, gotta use it. Careful of your thoughts, become words at any moment. If you have been sick,
welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered Thoughts. My name is Cedric and this is my wife Deidre.
Hello.
And we're back again with another episode. And today's episode is going to be called
Friendships, I guess. We'll just say friendships and not for now.
We're going to say friendships for now. In this friendship video, we're going to, or podcast as I say, we're going to talk about two different things. We're going to talk about friendship from a woman's perspective.
Yes.
As far as women having other women friends.
Yep.
And then for a male's perspective, for males having other males as friends.
Yes.
And so I know that this podcast is probably going to reach a few people that it probably resonates with. Maybe everyone, I'm not sure. Well, everybody has friends.
Yes, so. Well, we all hope everybody's got at least a friend.
Sure. So, you know, when you think, so we can start with you, Deidre.
Okay.
When you think of friendships as far as a woman is concerned, now, also, I'm not sure if there's any difference between friendship with different cultures.
Just hold on, you're getting ahead of yourself.
Okay.
Just ask the initial question that you were going to ask.
Okay. So, Deidre, what you think about friendships being from a woman's point of view?
Well, I'm going to give a preface to this because I always feel like I try to give people an understanding of where these podcasts come from. Actually, it was inspired today. One of my besties messaged me this, and it made me think about something. And it was, no one talks about the trauma that comes with your female friends betraying you. Like, I dead had PTSD when it comes to developing new relationships with women. And it made me think, because I feel like, you know, when I'm on social media, I see a lot of women who say things like, oh, that's why I don't have no female friends, or this is why it's hard for me to make new friendships with people. And it made me think, like, why is friendships among females one of the hardest things in adulthood? Because I feel like when you're younger, you know, well, I don't know, but I feel like it was easier to make friends when you were younger, which, I don't know, because girls, you know, we're bitches, probably our whole lives, through different stages of our lives. So, I don't know if I would say it was easier to make friends when I was young. Well, I mean, yes, in a sense it was easier because you didn't have things like kids, relationships, and all of those other things getting in the way of your friendship. So, yes, it was easier to make friends when you're younger, but females, I feel like, have always been difficult to be friends with. Luckily for me, I don't feel like I have a hard problem with making friends with people. But I do know a lot of people that say like things like, you know, I don't have a lot of friends. And I don't know whether it's because they don't want to be involved with other women like that. Because, you know, when as a woman, when I think of dealing with women, and I hate to say dealing with women because it's not like dealing with them. It's just, you know, being around women.
Okay, never mind.
You think of, oh, is there gonna be drama? Is she gonna be jealous? What, like, you know, like, I would be honest, when I go places, and it's not necessarily with my friends, but I know that there's gonna be a lot of women there, it's a thought process, and I have to get myself together. Like, I gotta get my mind right, as Mystico would say. Because you don't know what kind of environment you're gonna go walk into. You know, you're walking into a room, especially with black women. I can't speak for like white women and their relationships with other women and their dynamics, but there is this sense of going into a place where you don't know people and you know it's gonna be women, and you don't know if they're gonna be looking at you like, look at this bitch, she thinks she looks good. Look at her outfit, she ain't got on name brand. You get that sense of they're sizing you up and they're seeing whether or not you're like a worthy opponent of like whether or not you're worthy of like even being worth looking at and checking out. And so it makes things difficult to go into that situation and make friends with people because you just don't know.
So I have a couple comments about that because from a male's perspective, looking at how females interact with each other, I do think that y'all guys have like some type of borderline competition. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm thinking that this competition is probably out there just for, because, you know, us as males, we're not looked at the same, and for obvious reasons. You know, females don't look at males because they got a big butt or they got, you know, they titties is hanging out. You know, where we don't dress that way. So, you know, if we come out with a tank top on or something like that, yeah, for sure, yeah, oh, he has a nice body or nice chest or whatever the case is. But for women, it's a position of, like, I don't want to feel threatened by you.
Right. And I think that's where a lot of friendships are formed from. I shouldn't say a lot, but I do feel like there's probably lots of insecure females out there that are like, I don't want to be friends with somebody that's better looking than me because my man might like her, or she might get more attention, or whatever the case might be, and they don't like that, which I feel like personally, I would want all my female friends to be beautiful, because I feel like if you're with a group of beautiful people, and you're going places, you might go and get into places and do shit that she wasn't going to do if you were ugly people. And I mean, I know that sounds...
What does looks have to do with
it? Doesn't have to... I'm just saying, if I was like, you know, there are women out there that are like, they don't want to be around somebody that looks better than them. They want to be the best looking out of the group. They want to be like, when we go out, I know everybody's looking at me. And they're not looking at them because they're not that good looking.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, but how you think y'all gonna have a successful friendship if that's where y'all starting it off?
I'm not saying that's me. I know that there's probably women out there that are like that are probably like, she looks better than me, so I don't really want to be friends with her. Or like because she's prettier than her, she already has this weird complex about her. Like, oh, she's probably stuck up. She's probably bougie. And it's like, you don't even know her, but you're judging her just because she made you feel a way about her.
Right. I think that, you know, for females starting off in a competition realm, it's a little bit different when you're trying to be a friend with somebody, because then it's all these different thoughts that go on your mind when you are bringing in somebody that is competition to you. So
personally, I don't look at any of my friends as competition, but if I ever did have a friend that made me feel a way about them in that sense, I probably wouldn't even be friends with them, because how can you be friends with somebody that you're competing with or jealous of? That's really what it boils down to. You're jealous of her. Right. You're jealous that she's a pretty girl and she probably gets attention everywhere she goes. Okay.
You know, everybody's going to, you know, I mean, whether you're the most beautiful girl in the world is all going to be subjective anyway.
Very true, but some people can't get over that, and I think that's where some of that comes. Like, well, I feel like it's a twofold, because I see a lot of videos like on Instagram that'll say like, "Oh, girls don't like me because I'm pretty," and I feel like, well, is it the girls or is it you that's projecting that? Because I feel like pretty, you know, there's a thing called pretty privilege. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but women who are prettier have an easier time in life than someone that I should say that when most people look at them, they go, oh, that's a pretty girl and she's beautiful, versus somebody when people look at them and they're saying like, oh, she's, you know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And which, you know, people saying stuff like that, they're saying in a nice way, she's not the best looking. Sure. And so I feel like women who are better looking in life, they I feel like some of them have that chip on their shoulder, like, well, I'm pretty, so you guys should be so lucky to have me around. And like, they just carry this edge around them, like, well, women don't like me because I'm pretty. Like, do you walk around like that? Do you walk around with that chip on your shoulder? Like, I already know she's not gonna like me because I'm pretty. Like, okay, what else do you have to offer besides your pretty face?
Well, just like I said, for women, it's obviously this direct competition between you and the next woman. And like, let's say, you know, in the situation that you have is that you're married and you have a family. Some women feel like they don't want that to be threatened by somebody else. Right. But what I'm saying is, like, you know, I mean, I will talk about the men part in a second, but I feel like if you was a woman and you really, I think it also has something to do with how much confidence you have in who you are.
That's true, but also at the same time, you know, one of my most favorite sayings, I probably said it multiple times on this podcast, is that I don't put nothing past nobody. And females are really trifling. They can be very trifling when they want to be. And I wouldn't put it past if I met somebody, let's say you and I were out and about, we're at the mall, and this woman saw you, and she's like, oh, he's really handsome. And she was probably like, well, obviously I can't just approach him because I see he's married. So what I'm going to do is try to be friends with the wife to get closer to him, just so I can try to take him under. I don't put it past women doing shit like that. So it's not even about me being secure of who I am. It's just the simple fact that I ain't no fool and I don't put nothing past nobody. So I'm very careful about who I would have around you, especially if like she was really interested in like your life. Like, why the fuck do you care what he's doing? Like, we're friends. Like, for all you care, he ain't doing shit with his life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like you just can never be too careful.
Well, I mean, obviously that person is not going to be very much.
Well, no, but I'm just saying you can never be too careful, and that's one of the things that it's hard for women to have friendships in that aspect. Because I'm thinking of it in twofold of like the people that you're no longer friends with, which is kind of what that post originally pertained to, is like the PTSD of losing friends, and also just making friends. But that's one of the reasons why, like you said, I'm a married woman. So if I am going to be having single women around me, because for the most part, all of my friends are married or they're in relationships. I have a couple of single friends, and I don't feel like any of those friends would ever try to do anything to you in that way or would disrespect my marriage or you. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I forgot where my train of thought was. What was I just saying?
You were just saying, talking about the fact that you don't believe that your friends that you have now would cross that bridge.
Before that. But yeah, I don't remember. Maybe it'll come back to me. But I don't feel like it makes a difference, I guess. I feel like I gravitate obviously more towards married women because obviously if she's married and she has a husband and we all click, now we can all hang out versus me just going and hanging out with this random single woman who probably doesn't want to hang out with us anyways because she's like, no, you guys are married, I don't want to be the third wheel.
But I will say this. I think that she probably should be saying, I just want to hang out with mature women. Because mature women understand, like, you know, I don't have no issue in this, I don't have any, what word I want to use?
Jealousy or?
You know, I'm more mature than just trying to come around and trying to get your man. I mean, because I got my own stuff going on over here, and why would I want to?
Plus, it's like there's so many men in the world. Why would you want the one man that's married and attached to kids? And like, that's a whole other topic. Right. But yes.
So being that you are a black woman, and for some reason black women have a hard time trusting other black women.
It's not black women. I think black women have a hard time trusting in general.
Or that too. You can put however you want to word it.
It's not even black women. You know, I don't trust nobody. Like I said, I don't put nothing past nobody. So,
I mean, obviously trying to be a person's friend.
Stay on the mic. You keep going back.
Sorry. Obviously trying to be somebody's friend, you know, requires a lot of trust. Mm-hmm. It requires a lot of you know, y'all guys having a lot of things in common. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously typical things that friendships typically carry.
Yeah, well, not all of them, because I feel like I have lots of, as you know, I have lots of different friend groups of people, which I think that's also important as we're talking about friendships. I think that it's good to have, me personally, I shouldn't say for everybody, but for me, it works for me, that to have lots of different friend groups, because I feel like everybody serves a purpose in your life. You know, everybody you meet is coming into your life for a specific reason. That's what I believe. And, you know, not everybody is meant to be, you know, friends with everybody that you know. And that's why I feel like it's definitely important to have, like, the different dynamics, different experiences. And I like to keep mine separated, you know how I feel about that.
You do not like nothing touching.
No, I don't. I don't like my food touching. I don't like my friend groups touching. I don't like none of that. I like to keep it all separated. But I think it's important because I feel like you were saying, like, it's as a woman, as a black woman, as an adult, all of these things, you know, putting yourself out there. And I think that's the other thing is like a lot of women who say, I don't have a lot of female friends, they don't want to put themselves out there. You know, I'm in a group on Facebook where they'll say like the most weirdest shit. They'll say like, I don't have any friends, or I want to make friends, but I don't like people. And I'm like, you can't, that's like an oxymoron. You can't say you want to make friends, but you don't like people right off the bat. You're already putting out this negative energy that you don't like people, so why would I want to be friends with you?
Well, let's because you did this give the audience a little bit of background on this. What I'm about to say to Deidre, she did go and find a group of women, black women, that actually created a friends group, I guess, mm-hmm. or tried to create a friends mm-hmm. group. Mm-hmm. And so, how did that pan out for you guys?
I would say it was beautiful because I met two amazing women who then in turn I met other women from it. But it was a bust because, you know, we tried to do things and these women who all said like, you know, I want to have friends because I don't have any friends. They weren't coming to the events that we were putting and things like that. So it just kind of went to the wayside. But I always feel like everything happens for a reason, and that we're supposed to be learning from something, or you're supposed to be getting something out of that experience.
Well, I mean, you got 2+ friends out of it.
Yes, and it was worth it to me.
But why you feel that the group this didn't work out like it should?
You got to stick towards it. You keep backing away.
I know what I'm saying. I mean, I can hear myself. What?
I know, but you sound echoey. Anyways, I think because people don't want to put themselves out there. I think, like I said earlier, it's the unknown of going into a place where you don't know anybody and you're walking into a group of predominantly black women. You will never know how scary that is because you're a black man and they're going to embrace you. They're going to love you. They're not going to look at you like, oh, who the hell is him? You're like, who is that? I want to know him. They're not going to, so.
Yeah, that's weird, but go ahead.
But because you're a man.
Mm-hmm.
Women love men. Well, most of them love men. So are you talking
about like a man going to a women
walked into a room
yeah.
full of women, they're not going to look at you the same way that they're going to look at me. They're going to be like, ooh, who is that?
I thought you were saying the other way around.
No, they're going to look at you like, ooh, who is that man walking in here versus like, who is this bitch? Like, that's the reception that
I'm just saying, but I'm trying to get to the core issue of y'all guys' problem.
I don't know what it is. I think it's going into the unknown and not trusting the other female. Like, we want to know what your intentions are right off the bat. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but that's really what it is. We just don't trust other women.
Okay, but how are y'all guys going to be able to get the trust in other women? Because y'all guys, obviously, we know, I mean, let's be honest. If you think that you're the most beautiful woman on the planet, that's going to be subjective to your opinion.
I don't know if it has anything to do with looks.
I'm just saying, because I think that most of y'all problem is looks, because it's about how I feel about how I'm carrying myself. Like
I can't speak for other women because that's just not the reality.
Can I finish my point?
Ahead.
Thank you. Because I feel like for some women, they walk with this swagger and this, or either swagger in some people's mind, or it can be arrogance in some people's mind, where they feel like they're the baddest bitch on the planet. Nobody can talk to me. Nobody can touch me. I can go get your man, anybody else's man, and whatever. Mm-hmm. And so, how can, that woman is going to be challenged to have friends because
she's unapproachable.
Well, that, and then she has this arrogance that she can get anybody. And so, I guess for you guys, it's just so much of a competition thing that I think for a married woman it's different. Far as like, everybody, y'all got a man now, so it's not like, or in some cases a woman. And so like that issue is now solved. But for single women out there that's trying to be friends with other single women, y'all got to have a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more things in common, maybe deeply rooted, for your guys' friendship to work.
But I don't understand. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't feel like a man, like, you have nothing to do with not relationships. Whether you're here or not, I feel like I would still be friends with the women that I'm friends with. Like, and I hate that the connotation of what you're saying is that if I have a man, that it's going to be easier for me to make friends because that man aspect of it is out of there, which men have nothing to do.
No. Remember, I said man or woman. I'm just talking about relationships. I was just saying that because y'all guys are not thinking about this anymore. Like, y'all guys just get dressed now and y'all don't think about, I gotta spend an extra hour getting dressed because I don't know who's gonna be out there and I need to look good, I need to look my best, blah 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 blah, and then I can go outside. Y'all guys do get dressed. And
I was gonna say I take forever to get ready.
Well, I'm just saying, but if you were single, it'd be like an extra layer to this because now you're putting on this invisible shield that I just want to look the supreme best. I
guess, but I feel like for me, I try to look my supreme every day. Well, there's two versions of me. There's the homeless looking version of me, or there's the supreme Deidre. It depends on the day. So when I get ready, I get ready. This is as good as it's going. There's no extra. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still married. So
I know that, but when you're single, it's like when the men are single, we're doing extra things, making sure our hair is cut, making sure we smell good, making sure all of these boxes are checked before we leave out the house because you never know. We might meet a woman or, we got to be on our game.
Yeah, I get that, but I think women still do that regardless because we just like to look good.
No, and I'm not disagreeing with the look good. I'm not saying that women don't try to look their best when they walk out the house. But, when you are married and you have kids and, whatever the case is, or you're just married and don't have no kids, you know, chances of you dressed in the way you would dress if you were single is probably going to be a little different.
Maybe, I don't know, because I feel like I elevated myself from when I met you till when I was single. Like, I didn't wear makeup and shit when I was single. It wasn't until I was married that I started wearing makeup and actually cared more about how I looked.
Well, I'm just saying, like, because some women go from, you know, having it, basically showing everything that God gave you to now being covered up.
Yes.
In some cases. I'm not saying that, you know, all covered up, but I'm saying in some cases.
Yes, that was me, because I feel like, you know, when I met you, I was out there.
Thotting it.
Yep, I was thotting it. But I still be trying to show my little body out, just not in the same way. You still gonna get these tight ass pants. You gonna look at this butt cheeks, but it's not like the shorts are gonna be showing the butt cheeks. It's gonna be my pants and showing my butt cheeks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so with that being said, you know, as far as like how you translate that into friendship, you know, I think that women have to look outside of their outside appearance and see who this person is for who they are.
And I think that comes with age. Because I'm definitely not friends with people that I was when I was younger. And that makes me think of more of the other aspect of that meme that was shared to me about the PTSD of friendships, you know, of the friendships that you no longer have. And it makes it, I have friends that I'm not friends with anymore, and I think about them all the time. You know, I wish they're well in life. I hope they're doing okay. But, you know, that's that trauma, I guess, where she was saying, like, you know, no one talks about that, of all the friends. Because, you know, friendship is, you know, you're investing time in somebody. And just like in a relationship, just like with me and you, I've invested my time into these females, you know, and it's a hard thing, you know, when you fall apart from people or you grow apart from people for whatever reason it is. And, you know, it's never usually like you hate them. You just grew apart. But I also think that's a part of life. And I feel like as you grow older, you probably are going to outgrow friends, and you're going to meet new friends, and and you keep some of them and they come along with you. But that's just the beautiful process of growing up in life. And
well, and what you're saying is that, you know, obviously as you evolve as a person, you know,
some of your friends are left behind.
Your interest becomes a little bit different, and you know, obviously that, you know, may come up with some of the friends and may leave some of the friends behind.
And it opens new doors for new ones. And I feel like you should be making new friends as you get older in life, because, like you said, we change, our interests change, who we are change. I'm not the same person I was when I first met you. I have some of my same interests, but, you know, I've obviously, and that reflects who I am today. I only have like a couple of friends that I was friends with when I met you. They're still there, but I've met more people since I've known you, and, you know, and I probably will continue to make new friends.
Right. And I think that for women out there, that y'all have to keep an open mind towards that as far as friendship goes. And maybe, I think in certain cases with women, maybe y'all should go after, or not go after, but, you know, have more interest in people that's probably in the same shoes as you. Like, if you got, I'm just saying.
No, I know.
Like, if you are married with kids, you're probably going to meet other married women with kids, and then y'all guys have way more in common because y'all have some foundation to build on as far as women with kids goes.
And now, even as me right now, and I'm thinking about what you just said about friends in common, I think it's also important to have friends that are where you want to be.
Yep, that stretches you.
Yes, I was going to say stretches you, but it was where I want to be. I have a couple of people in mind that I'm not the closest with, but there's definitely in places that I want to be. You know, it's hard. Those women, for me, which is weird, but they're intimidating for me. So that's probably why we're the friendships that I want to be, because I'm like, oh my God, like, you're like really out here doing it. And I'm like, I'm over here just, you know, not doing all that. So it's hard to, and I can see that being a reason as to why some people have a hard time making friends, is because they're intimidated by the people that they want to be friends with. You know, it's very hard to be like, I don't feel like I have as much to offer in this friendship as she does. Like, she's doing all this, she's amazing, and then there's just me over here just, you know, drinking wine or something.
Sometimes you have to step your game.
Yeah, but that's the importance of, you know, elevating yourself, because that person will probably make you have to step up and grow a little bit more. Not saying that somebody is so good that they have to, like, reach down for me to get me to be, you know what I'm trying to say, but, like, sometimes when you're like, oh, I really want to be where that person is, or like, I really like that person or admire them, how do I get into that world with them in that way? I have to elevate myself and step myself up for her to want to, you know, and I like the way that I'm sounding like she has to, like.
Well, I mean, we get what you're saying. Okay. I think that you basically are saying, like, hey, you know, I got some friends that stretches me,
Yes.
you know, and you know, obviously I'm building towards, you know, shrinking up the
That
distance
gap,
between me and where I want to be. So
Right. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this, just like I said before, when you take when you have a common interest, as far as let's say married with kids, that's already a good starting point, because now the mindset is not thinking about, oh, I'm gonna go out tonight, we finna go meet these dudes. I mean, because that's totally different from I'm finna go home tonight with my husband and kids. Those are just totally different avenues. And so for some women, you know, they going down the avenue, and there's nothing wrong with that, because we always in that
They're
place.
trying to get to that place.
Yeah,
so
they're trying to get to
the
that place,
kids.
right? And so, you know, it is what it is. You know, just everybody has to start somewhere.
Right.
And so, but let's switch gears, because we didn't talk about the women for a second. But as far as being a male and having male friends, I would say that we as males don't look at each other as that type of competition. Because it's nothing like, we don't walk out the house like, oh, I need to get extra fresh because some of my homeboys are gonna be there, and you know, I don't want them to, you know, get the women, and we can't get the women because you know, they look better than us. Like, we don't never leave out the door thinking that. And so we don't have that type of issue when it comes down to like our friendships. Our friendships is based on, you know, either we have some things in common that we can work with, like, you know, maybe you meet somebody at the basketball court, maybe you meet somebody working out, or maybe you meet somebody at the office place, and y'all guys have things in common, then y'all guys can move forward. But we don't. I think men have a little bit more easier thing, because we don't have that extra layer of like, I'm not worried about some guy that I just met yesterday coming to my house, and you know, he's trying to, you know, hit on you and being disrespectful and stuff like that. Like, it is men that do that, and I'm not saying that it in this case. What I'm saying is that's never our concern.
Right. And I just want to make it clear, like, for me personally, that's not ever been the hindrance as to why I never made friends. Because I feel like you said earlier, it has to do with the maturity level. I feel like when you're younger, or you know lots of people. You have lots of people that you know, and like you can go out and you can be like, oh, that's my friend, but it's not a quality friendship. And I feel like the older we get, we start to want to shrink them people down, because we don't have time for all of those people. You know, right now in my life, I've got my core friends. It's a beautiful thing. I don't have to. I've never felt like, oh, the reason why I didn't want to be friends with them is because they were like worried. I was ever worried about you in that aspect. And so I don't feel like for most women it has to do necessarily with their men, because it was never like, all of the friends that I've made, you've always been there for the most part. We've been together for a very long time, and never once was my thought of, I don't want to be friends with them because I'm worried about them coming over here and trying to hit on Cedric. It was never like that. It was more or less like, what kind of person is she? What kind of energy does she bring? Does she mesh well with me? It was more of those things. Like, some people you just don't vibe with like that, and it's just like one of those things where you like, I don't want to fuck with you just because it had nothing to do with you. I'm just saying that because I feel like you think that women, the main reason why we have a hard time of making friendships is because of men. Like, if I'm in a relationship, I'm worried about her trying to sleep with my husband or my man, which that is a thing, but that was never the thing for me. So I just wanted to be clear.
Well, I mean, you said talking for yourself,
right?
So back to the men.
Sorry.
I don't feel that is like some type of unspoken competition. Now, and I'm not saying that it can't be. Now, you know, men, we can get very, very competitive, and we have big egos, but for, you know, as I get older, you know, all that stuff really doesn't matter to me anymore. You know, I was just saying something the other day about, you know, when I was a younger person, you know, I go to the basketball court, and I used to let trash talk get to me, you know, like, far as like, you know, taking it personal, and I trash talk somebody else, then it kind of gets out of hand, and now, you know, we you know, in a place that we shouldn't have been. Now, as I gotten older, you know, the trash talk doesn't matter anymore, because I know I can keep it in the game.
Right.
You know, when I leave off the court, you know, we dapping it up and leaving, no matter how I felt about the guy on the court. And so for us as men, you know, it is a maturity thing after a while. You know, we realize that, you know, I mean, if I met somebody and their wife was always around and she's trying to be around me, I just naturally going to show that guy his respect and just like, listen, man, you know, I don't feel comfortable coming over here. Your wife is, you know, she's doing the most, and I would just, can we go meet somewhere else or whatever the case is, but I would give them that respect. Now, obviously, you got some guys out there that would probably take advantage of that, and I'm not saying that, you know, obviously we don't got men that can do the same thing as women, because we've got a lot of men that do that, but at the same time, the guys that I hang around, I trust them around you all the time. You know, it's not no worries. I mean, obviously, men, we look at women, and we talked about this the other day, and I don't have an issue with guys looking at my woman, and so Deidre have a problem on the opposite side, but I don't have an issue with it because
I don't have a problem with it. I just think it's interesting that it doesn't bother you. I'm like,
because we our job is, y'all don't go through the liberty of spending 2 or 3 hours getting dressed so nobody looks at you.
I do it for you. Well, I mean, I do it for you to look at me and strangers, not your friends.
Well, I'm just saying, like they're men too.
Okay, whatever.
And so we gonna look at, you know, if he brought a woman over, guess what? I'm checking her out too. It's just in our DNA to check out women, no matter what. Now, if you're gay, then it's obviously different.
Right.
But I'm saying in the normal man DNA, you know, we're gonna check out women, and this is what it is. And now I have to own up to that and understand that, you know, obviously, you know, you see a homeboy checking out your woman, you're gonna be like, you know, what are you doing? But at the same time, like,
yeah, I know she look good, right?
yeah, I mean, you probably like, yeah, you know what? That's why I married her. And so we just don't have the same hangups as women as far as friendships. You know, obviously, you know, you got some guys that is on another planet with who they are and all that stuff. You know, you really rarely catch a guy like that.
What do you mean?
Like, where he thinks too much of himself, and, you know, obviously we, you know, fall back. But for all the people that I've been meeting, I think you just run into people that's just like you or have common interests as you. So I don't really run into a lot of issues when it comes to friends. Now, as far as like having best friends, I think our issue is just time, because we just as the male and the provider of the house and all that stuff, you know, it's kind of hard to hang out with your friends.
That's just in general, you know.
Well, you women typically have a little bit more time for that, but as males, we might not have. Like, some of the guys I know, they working 2 jobs, they doing this, they doing that, so they don't really have a whole lot of time for hanging out. So that's where our friendships kind of take a back seat, because we just can't find the time to hang out. Now, if given a choice, yes, we would hang out.
Well, I think that's just life in general. You know, that's one of the hard things about having friendships as an adult. That was one of the things I was going to mention, is that it was easier, like I said, to have friends when you were younger, because you didn't have as much responsibility. You didn't have kids that you had to go home to. You may have had a man that you had to go home to, but it was just the 2 of y'all, so he could have just picked up something to eat on the way home. Or the case might be, but now, you know, you got kids, you got meetings, you got Zooms, you got PTAs, you got sports, you gotta, like, look good for you, you gotta make sure that the house is clean, you gotta walk the dog. There's a lot of shit going on now. So it's like, you know, friendships, I don't want to say friendships take a back seat, because I feel like what's important to you, you will always make time for it.
Right.
But if you have friends that are in the same path, all of my friends are mostly married with kids, so they understand, like, you know, we got shit cracking on. And because I feel like friendship is more, I know some people feel like friendship is about how long you've known someone, and I feel like it's more like the connection that you have with someone. And I feel like if you have a good connection with somebody, they understand. Like me and my best friends, we don't see each other that much. I would love to see her more often, but life just happens. But, you know, it's never like I'm like, oh, she understands, we're busy, but, you know, we can go weeks without talking, but when we talk and see each other, it's like we just picked up right where we left off. And that's one of the beautiful things about having a connection with somebody like that, because they understand. It's not like they're taking it personal or they're feeling some type of way, because that's just life right now, and it's unfortunate because I would love to be able to be like, yeah, I get to see my friends whenever I want.
Well,
Life
and
doesn't get away.
also going to piggyback on what you just said, because most, obviously when you live in a bigger city, and you don't, and this is where some people value like the community aspects of life more so than just being out there in different places, because you far away from your friends, then that can also be why you don't see them as often either, too. Sorry.
No.
And so, obviously if your friend lived next door or in a neighborhood or less than 5 minutes away, the friendship will probably
you can pop over there a little bit more, but
and that's how we used to live, obviously in inner cities, everybody's neighborhoods are very close, so we can see each other more often. Sorry.
You good over
there? Yeah, no, I'm just. I just think that friendships are important. Everybody, we all need them. I think that is obviously different space for men and women. I am concerned about women in the health of their friendships.
Why do you say that?
Because of just that y'all guys it is so much competition with y'all guys. It is y'all have to deal with extra layers of things that y'all just shouldn't have to.
Which is funny because I feel like at the heart of every woman that says, that's why I don't have a lot of friends. To me, that sounds like a hurt person. You know what I mean? Like
right.
when you say things like, that's why I don't have a lot of friends. To me, it sounds like you sound hurt that you don't have a lot of friends. Because I feel like, and I can't speak for every woman, obviously, because I'm only my one self, but I feel that the majority of women out there, we all want a group of friends that we all just get along. We go on vacations together. Our kids know each other. They grow up together. Like kind of like a Girlfriends, a TV show Girlfriends, or one of my personal favorites, or actually two of my personal favorites, Sex and the City and Golden Girls. But those two shows, all of those three shows, was centered around friendship. And it was a deep connection of friendship, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I think that's part of the problem with women is that they don't want to do the good, the bad, and the ugly. They just want the good. They just feel like, well, if I have a disagreement with my friend, we're no longer friends anymore.
And just to give it some context about what you're saying, the maturity level also it plays a big part in friendship.
But that's part of the problem is that I feel like sometimes people feel like if I'm your friend, some people don't want you to point out their things that they're doing wrong in their lives. And they feel like, well, you're my friend, you're supposed to support whatever it is that I do. Which you are supposed to, but if what you're doing ain't a good look for you, and I'm your friend, I'm supposed to tell you that.
Right.
I'm supposed to let you know.
Sorry, can I piggyback real quick?
Yeah.
And so, piggybacking off of what Deidre said, is that, everybody wants to get pats on the back. We all love for somebody to give us a pat on the back when we're doing something well, when we got a promotion, whatever the case is. But when you're going in the opposite direction and somebody's trying to tell you something, you got to be open to that criticism too.
And I think like I'm just using an example. Let's say one of my married friends was cheating on her husband. I'm not gonna just be sitting there like, yeah, go girl, go. I'm gonna be like, what are you doing? You have a family at home. Like, why are you doing this? And I feel like if you understood me where I was coming from as your friend, you don't get mad at me. Just understand that I love you and I'm coming from a place of love. Like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Like, you realize the repercussions of what can happen if all this shit goes up in flames. And I feel like it's important to have friends around you that are going to tell you the truth and keep it real with you. Now, I'm not saying you need to be rude about it, because if you're my friend, you shouldn't be rude to me about it. You should be coming to me in a place of, like, I love you and I'm concerned and I think you're making a mistake. But I feel like a lot of people just can't accept that, like the self-awareness that we talked about earlier in another podcast. They don't have that awareness to be like, oh, she loves me, she's being a friend right now, versus like, well, fuck her, I don't want to be friends with her, no way. Like, then that's when the people start doing all of that, like, well, I know you not talking because I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where
the extra that y'all got to go through.
Yes, and I feel like that's part of the reason probably why women are having a hard time with being friends, is because some women are like those women. Like, I'm going to tell you when you're doing wrong, and if you don't like it, then that's on you. And then you have those women that are like, I can't believe she said that to me. So it makes it hard because the two of you are not meshed well to be friends. Because
So for the listeners out there, and I'm quite sure it's you women out there, what can women do better at gaining more? Because I can say this for men, but we don't have an issue.
But so you feel like men don't have a, like, you feel like as you being a man in a man's friendship, if you saw your friend doing wrong, because I feel like sometimes y'all don't be doing that, because I feel like if you saw your friend cheating and you knew it, I feel like men don't be telling them, like, that's probably not what you should be doing. I feel like men would be like, oh, if you need me to lie for you, I'll tell Deidre that she was over at my house. I feel like y'all will condone it more versus telling your friend, like, this ain't right, you shouldn't be doing this.
Well, hold up. That ain't got nothing to do with friendship.
Yes, it does. Because I feel like if he was a good friend to you, let's say you were cheating on me, and let's say one of your friends knew it, I feel like men will be like, oh, well, I'll cover for you, versus being like...
No, that's the code.
No, it's not the code. Because if he was a good friend to you, he should be telling you, like, what are you doing? You got a wife and kids at home.
Yeah, no. Obviously, it's going to be some concern there. But, I mean, when you get into situations where guys are checked out and stuff like that, it ain't no, I'm going to stay there with the person. I mean, that's a whole other topic.
Yeah, I was going to say, because at that point, you just tell me and just go.
Well, I'm hoping that but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the whole men you talking to. Like, men don't, it's hard to have those type of course corrections with a grown-ass man.
But it's the same to be said for women, then.
Well, women is, like I said, women have a little bit more of an issue because it goes beyond just being a friend to somebody, because y'all guys are in competition with one another in some type of weird fashion. And all. I mean, we don't have those dramas. Now, obviously, if my homeboy was cheating on this woman, I probably would say something. But then if you tell me, listen, man, it's going to be over, I can't just, well,
but then I feel like you as a friend should have been like, then you should tell her and leave her instead of living this double life.
Yeah, no, but after I say my piece.
Oh, Lord.
I can't. This is a grown ass.
That's very true, but I feel like it's just not right. Cause whatever. We're getting off topic.
Well,
but,
no. It's on topic, but I'm saying to you, you're trying to make me go into an area where, like, this is a grown man. He has to make his own choices.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I was saying that I feel like more often than not, y'all would be like, oh, look at my nigga, he over there cheating. Like, yeah, cause y'all don't care. Y'all feel like he got a side piece. Like, y'all would just, that's not being a good friend.
I would say that we're concerned with his happiness.
Oh, well, I'm concerned with the whole overall picture.
No,
Because I feel like the happiness, when that shit blows up, he gonna be like, can I sleep on your couch? Nope, you can't sleep on our couch. You should have figured that shit out before you started being messy.
Now that goes with context too, because, if obviously I know that being a male, we're going to have these dialogues.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, obviously you're the breadwinner, you're the family man, you're this and that. You might want to think about these things. Now, if he just continuously go
and
down
I feel
the
like
path,
sometimes men just need somebody to help them put things into perspective. Like, is this really what you want to do?
now if the brother is checked out, there's nothing that you can say.
I don't know, but we're not every brother is checked out. Sometimes it could just be like, she was easy, so I fucked her because she let me. Like, okay, but like, was it worth it?
Oh, I don't know. What do you want me to say to that?
I don't know. But I'm saying, like, what you keep trying to put it in this scenario of he's checked out. Sometimes men don't be checked out. They just be like, well, she let me check her out.
Well,
so
I'm saying, but now you try to put my friendship involved with his relationship with his wife.
I'm just using that as a hypothetical. What it was all about was that you being able to tell your friend what they're doing wrong. And I feel like that's another thing, that women don't want another grown woman to try to put her in her place.
No.
So she'd be like, who the fuck are you? Like, and it's kind of one of those senses of like, if I can't tell you nothing, then what are we friends for?
No, I'm saying, like, if I
I don't mean tell you something, because that's not...
Well, I'm just saying, if I, hey, do you want my opinion? And you say no, then there's nothing that, what do you want me to say to that? Like, if he's going to keep doing his thing, I'm not going to... See, that's my thing, is that whether he's with her or by himself, I'm still his friend. Yeah, no, but I'm not saying that. Just take the cheating off the table. I'm saying if you knew that your friend was doing some shit that you felt like, not like you felt like, because it's not about what you personally feel, but even let's just say that your friend did something to you that you didn't like, to you. You should be able to tell your friend, like, hey, when I saw you last time, you did this to me and it made me feel away. You should be able to have that conversation with your friend without your friend feeling some type of way, because it has nothing to do with how that friend feels. If I made you feel away, then you should be able to listen to what I have to say and take what I have to say. And now, obviously, it's about how you deliver the message, because if I went to her like, listen, bitch, when you did this shit, I didn't fucking like it, she's not going to hear what I have to say, because that message was really fucked up. But if I came to her in a place of like, I love you, and it's not really that big of a deal, but the last time we hung out, you did this, and it made me feel a type of way, and now she's coming, I didn't know I was doing that, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, no, but thing that you're saying goes without saying. Like,
well, you would think that, but there's some people that are rough around the edges, and they don't say it like
but you should know that about your friend. That friend is rough around the edges. Now, obviously, for just like I said, for us as men, we have an opposite. Well, we have the same but opposite issue. See, more men have more ego than women, and so if I'm going to challenge this man in his ego, it's probably not going to work out for me and him because he has a lot of passion. He's going to do whatever he's going to do to protect what he feels is valuable to him.
Okay, but what about your ego though? What if his ego did something to your ego? Are you saying that his ego is so big that he can't be told nothing?
No, I mean, obviously, as a friend, I will tell him like, hey, this is not working out. Like, like if he just started to say, hey, I want to, sell drugs or I'm gonna start a prostitution ring. I mean, what do you want me to say to that? I'm like, hey man, listen, do your thing, brother. Whenever you come back, you decide to go do some different stuff with your life, I'll be your friend again. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm rooting them on. Like, yeah, go pimp all these hoes. Like, I'm never gonna say that.
No.
But according to you, that's the code.
No, I was talking about it specifically with the cheating. I feel like y'all, that's the code.
Well, I'm just saying, he started a prostitution.
But I feel like if you, honest to God, said if you knew any of your friends was about to do some goddamn, well, I don't necessarily have a problem with prostitution, so let's do drugs because drugs kill people. Sometimes, well, mostly, whatever. If you knew a friend that was about to be a drug dealer, I feel like you would say something to him.
Right.
Like you would be like, are you sure that's what you want to do? You might end up in jail and you might not be able to see your kids anymore. Your life. Yeah, I mean, why do you want to do this? I'm not telling you what he needs to do, but I would just voice my concerns for my friend, let him know, like, I'm concerned for you. We ain't gonna be hanging out like that because I'm not trying to be associated with you because, they be trying to kill people that are closest to you. And I am not trying to be killed by association.
Right.
You will get deleted off my Facebook. I don't even want to know you.
So, for us, we already got the male situation. Obviously, it's only gonna be so far we're gonna go with. I'm not gonna try to tell a grown man what to do. I mean, if he ever see that, and that's the issue.
No, but nobody's telling nobody what to do. I'm not telling any of my girlfriends what to do. My female friends.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like far as, like women think that they can change men. Yes. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm. They try to.
Or they try to change men, and sometimes when you get that guy, this is the raw deal. You're not gonna. Some guys don't really deviate from who they really are, and if you meeting people and they are like that, chances are I'm not gonna be, how I'm gonna save somebody that's already doing something like that. I'm meeting guys that's already doing the things that I'm doing, so then we have common interests. So. Right. For women, it's a little bit different because y'all guys got to put y'all outside appearance to the side, and I think y'all could probably have a better relationship.
But you're basing every woman goes out there and I'm not sure what you're saying. Like when I go out and make friends, I'm looking at her, see what I'm sizing her up, whether or not I want to be friends with her.
No. Like, well, maybe you might not be, but most women are. Like, women check out other women like men check out women.
Yeah, I probably look at women more than I look at men.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So just think about what you just said there. Because I do not look at any guys the same way that I look at women.
Well, because it's different. Because I'm looking at a woman, I'm like, ooh, I like her shoes. Her hair looks nice. I like her lipstick. I wonder what shade, what brand is that? She smells nice. I wonder what her perfume is.
Yeah, I just don't, hey man, it is what it is.
Well, I'm just saying that's the difference. I'm not looking at her like, yeah, I'm going to be with her. I'm looking at her like she
looks
good.
I know that. I know what you're saying. Like, you checking her out. You just checking her out because you may like her style. And
her purse, her shoes, her jacket. It could be a little multitude of things that I'm looking at her for.
Right.
And they might be thinking I'm looking at her like, oh, look at this bitch. She thinks she's cute. And then meanwhile, I'm like, you are cute. I think you look amazing. But you're looking at me like I'm looking at you crazy. So.
Right. Well, so with that being said, just like I told you before, I think that women have to put their outside appearance to a side because most of y'all issues stem from the way that y'all see each other as far as like the outside appearance first. Because y'all don't really get a chance to know each other because, if you're not a bad bitch and you don't got all this ass and titties and all that stuff, you're not on her level and she gonna be friends. See, I think women have such an issue with the outside appearance. Now, I'll give you a perfect example. Now, you always see, and I just seen this today at the gym, some in shape, skinny, probably got a little bit of a shape woman with some 400-pound chick that she's with. Now she know that the 400-pound chick is no competition. So that's why she's carrying her around.
I said that earlier.
Well, I'm just saying like that, but that's how you know y'all friendships is based on outside appearance.
I don't know if that's necessarily true because what if the friend was fat before and lost weight and now her friend is?
Why are we not talking? Well, this.
But I'm just saying though, what if the skinny chick was fat and they were friends when they were both fat and she lost the weight and now her friend is motivated to go to the gym and lose the weight?
Okay,
you don't know the. But you don't know the.
Okay, how many scenarios?
I don't know because I don't know these people.
Like maybe 5%.
I'm
just saying like that doesn't really like bode well for the overall picture of this because it's typically some girl that's in shape with some 400-pound friend that she's with. Now if this is the case for you guys, don't take this personal, but I'm just using this as an example. And so you like your friend is with you because it's something in for both of you guys because the bigger girl knows that she can get more people to be interested in her based on the fact that the slim girl is going to draw attention and somebody's going to have to take one for the team.
But that has nothing to do with being fat or skinny because there could be somebody just being pretty and ugly. You could be like, she's beautiful, so I want to be friends with her. She's going to get us in the club for free. We're going to get bottle service because of her. I want to know her because she's a beautiful woman.
I get that part, but what I'm saying is why is that the case? Because if you are a skinny girl and you got a 400-pound friend, that just doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand what you're trying to say. Like fat people and skinny people can't be friends.
No, I'm not saying that. But
you're making it seem like if they are friends, that's because those skinny
so
women wants to feel good about her. Well, she already should feel good about herself.
Well, when you go to the club,
she's quote unquote skinny.
When you go to the club, you see this often. You see
I never see that
a skinny or like a girl that's beautiful or whatever you want to put the definition in, with some 300-pound chick that's with her.
I typically, in my experience of what I'm looking at, and I'm not looking at the same groups of people that you're looking at, obviously, because we're looking at different things, but I typically see people that are equally yoked together. I see all the fat chicks are friends together, you got all the little thickums together, and you might got all the beautiful girls. Like, I feel like you attract what you are in a sense. Like, I feel like all of my friends, we're all equally yoked. I don't feel like there's one that's better looking than the other, one that's badder than the other. I feel like we're all beautiful. And if we all go out, we're all going to get attention because we're all beautiful. We don't have the one that's like the token beautiful girl that's going to go out and get everything because she looks the best. Or because she's the skinniest or she has the baddest body. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, maybe it's some type of sick, twisted joke or something because you're not, well, first of all, you're not a male. You don't really see this a lot being it from a woman's standpoint, but from a male standpoint, you see this a lot.
When I met you in the club, was I with a fat person?
No, okay, dude, just stop it, because I'm not saying every single case.
That's what you're making it sound like. When you go in the club, you see skinny people with fat, you see a bunch of skinny people with fat people, and that's just not the case. I feel like I see more, like I said, equally yoked people.
Deja, just like I said before, us as fellas that's checking out women. Something that you don't do.
No.
Okay, so when we are in the club and sometimes always a conversation and somebody got to take one for the team.
I'm sure that might be true, but it doesn't mean that she's gonna be fat. She might be that big.
And typically they're either not attractive or big.
But I don't like the idea that you think that women are running out here trying to find less than looking. Even though I did say this earlier in the podcast, this is something that I did say. But I have never in my life been like, oh, she's ugly, so let me be friends with her. Like, that doesn't even sound right, smart. Because if you think about it, if we're all good, like, let's say you took a trip to Vegas, me and my fat, ugly friends, how many clubs do you think we're going to get in for free? Let alone even in that bitch. Like, we gotta wait in line because I'm gonna go to that.
But the problem, the thing is, the fat girl in the relationship, in these the friendships, I should say, is why you will put more eyes on the single girl, because you'll look at between the two, you will pick in your mind. Every human being does it. Mm-hmm. They'll pick. Okay, she looks better. She's in better shape. Her body looks better. And this girl, she just hanging on by thin thread.
Okay, so if you were a club promoter, let's say you were not a promoter, a club owner, whatever the case may be, and you're trying to draw people to come into your club, and you saw a group of women, two groups of women were waiting in line to get into your club. One, they were all equally yoked. They were all about the same beautifulness, about the same size, whatever the case might be, versus the one beautiful girl with like 2 or 3 fat, ugly friends. Which one are you going to let in the club first?
Dude, first of all, are you trying to condone body shaming?
No, I'm not, because you're making it sound like women are purposely trying to be. I'm not saying that that's not the case, but I had never in my life ever looked at somebody like, oh, she's ugly, I want to be friends with her.
No. Let's answer your question. So you're saying if it's a group of pretty women and then
I didn't say they were all pretty. I said they were all equally yoked.
Okay, equally yoked, whatever you want to say. First of all, you can't, as a club owner, do that.
Yes, they do. First of all, side note, when we went to Vegas for a bachelorette party, we were specifically told that we were not good looking enough to get into the club. Okay, so at least according to what somebody told us that we're getting off track, but somebody told us that their brother was like, y'all not good enough to get up into this club. Like, I was like, damn. And I thought we were pretty good looking. So that's not even the case.
So then they're discriminating against everyone. Then.
We weren't no goddamn Kardashians, so we weren't looking like that.
Okay, but that's fair grounds because you're not a fat woman. So I'm just saying to you is that this ain't got nothing to do with fat women hate. So I'm not saying that. What I'm saying to you in general is that women need to take away the outside appearance and just like each other for who they are versus what you have either in a single way, what can you offer me type of thing, not like in a sexual way.
I'm trying to figure out, why do you feel like I'm not saying this to be funny, but like, who are you to say that that's what we do? You're a man. You're not even a woman trying to be friends with a woman. I have never, and I don't know any, and I can't say that I personally know any of the people, and I'm going to ask, so please know that I'm going to ask.
Sure.
I have never had any of my friends say like, I'm only friends with her because she's ugly and she makes me feel better about myself. I don't even know people like that.
I think we need to do a poll because for the men out there that's listening to this podcast, I can
put a poll on here too.
How many times have you been in a club or been in a social situation where it's been
but that doesn't mean
a slim girl or an attractive woman next to either an unattractive woman or a big woman? I bet you it's going to be more than you think.
I'm not saying that's not the case, but your whole argument is that we're doing it on purpose. Like, I'm actively going out of my way to find uglier women than me to make me feel better about myself.
I know, but I'm saying, that's the reason why we say
I have never heard of that. I have never done that before, and I don't even know women that do that. I might have known one person, and I'm not even friends with that person anymore.
Okay, so I'm just saying, like, don't make it seem like it's never been done.
But no woman has ever said this to me, and I'm being honest with you. And I'm not saying that women are doing that. I'm not saying that they're not doing that, but I have never actively had a woman tell me, like, I purposely only like friends that are, like, fat or less than attractive because I know that I'm going to get all the attention. I've never heard of this.
Well,
I'm not saying that might not, it doesn't happen, but I don't feel like women are actively going out of their way to find all the other, because me personally, to me, it makes more sense to have friends that are better. Like, all of y'all are bad. Like, when you watch Instagram videos and you see all these bad girls, I was going to say bad bitches, but all these badass women on here being fine and thick and beautiful, like, to me, that means I would prefer that, because we're all good looking. We all getting in this shit together. You ain't got to take one for the team, because we all bad on this team.
Right. Which I'm not saying that you don't run into that either, but I'm just saying more times than not, it's like we have to like huddle up because we have to
shut up, Cedric.
We have to figure out who's gonna take the nosedive, and then if it's your turn, you taking this nosedive, and if it's my turn, unfortunately, I have to take it.
Yeah, I don't know. If me personally, I'm thinking about and not that I ever pick friends based on how they look. But to me, I think I would rather be around the women that are pretty, because I feel like you're going to get me in this club. Like, I don't want to be around and I'm not body shaming, because you're the one that brought it up, so don't say that I'm doing it. But if I had to pick
why you pick it? All of them should be friends.
I'm not disagreeing with you with that, and I told you that to begin with. I had never chose a friend based off of how she looks, because what the hell does her looks got to do with me being friends with her? I'm not sleeping with her.
Okay, but you just said that you would be willing to put that. So basically, they can't go to the club with you.
I never said that.
Well,
I said if I had to, don't put words into my mouth.
Okay, but
I said if I had to pick one, because you're making me seem like I would purposely go out of my way to find the ugly fat friends.
No,
which I'm
no,
saying,
no. I'm saying like if your fat friends, let's just say
she can come with me because somebody might like a beautiful. Because just because I think she's not attractive, or you don't think she's attractive, but I don't think she's attractive. I mean that everybody else might not think she's attractive. We can go into that club and I can be thinking like, yeah, all these dudes about to want me. Meanwhile, they want her ass, and I'm sitting over here feeling stupid as fuck because I thought they was gonna want me.
And that, so you gotta be careful then, right?
It don't matter because, like you said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And just because, and I want to preface this, just because she's fat does not mean she's ugly. There's a lot of beautiful, heavy-set women out there, way more than I see skinnier women.
I never said that. And so this ain't got nothing to do with how I personally feel about like fat people or ugly people, because they obviously they can get as many men as the beautiful people. Mm-hmm. This ain't got nothing to do with that. This more so got something to do with how women view other women and why women choose to do that. Because women are not going, like, if you had the opportunity to meet somebody as a friend and y'all guys can go do this and do that, and she happens to look better than you,
I would still be.
But you might say that. But when you see the women may feel threatened by her beauty. So, like, for us as men, we don't have that issue. So, my homeboy can be short, he can be fat, he can be not attractive, he can be a lot of things. But I'll still hit the club with him because I'm not looking at him, so I don't give a shit what he look like.
But I have friends that I feel like are better looking than me, and I have gone out to the club with these people, and I've never felt like.
But I'm okay, Deidre. You can't put yourself into every woman's shoes, just like I can't put myself in all the men's shoes. But what I'm saying to you is, more often than not, you see this setup, and it's
right. But I was going to say before you, but I feel like it's more of a benefit to me to be with somebody that's prettier than me, because I feel like, oh, if she looks good, the chances are we might not have to pay to get in this motherfucker because I'm going to keep my money. We might not, they might buy us drinks. It's a benefit to being friends with somebody that looks as good as you or better. Like, I don't see why I would want to go out of my way to be like, I want to be the best looking one. Because I feel like if you go in a club with a bunch of women that are all beautiful, chances are everybody's going to be like, you're going to have a better experience because people are going to let you in. You probably get VIP. You don't got to pay for stuff. If you're, I don't want to say ugly, but if you're not as attractive, they're not going to give you, you're going to pay for the VIP. You can sit your ass over here if you want to.
Well, no, I get what you're saying, Deidre, and I'm not saying to you, this is how women should think, in my opinion, what you're saying, because it shouldn't be any bias. But let's be real. You see this all the time. A couple of good-looking women next to a bunch of women that's way off the cliff from their looks. And I'm just saying this. See, that's like I said. I
think it's funny how you're trying to go around the way of saying that she's just not attractive.
Not attractive.
Way off the cliff.
Way off the cliff. There you go. Because women do that because they're in competition. Men, me and my homies can go to the club, and he don't have to be as attractive as I am, or he can be better looking than I am. I don't feel threatened by him, not in any way. It can be women that come to the club. It can be women that come up to the guy and ask him for his number and all that, and I still don't feel threatened by him.
And I'm saying to you, because I think you think that that's the majority for women versus the minority, and I have to disagree. I feel like most women want to be around the girls that are the pretty girls, because we feel like, oh, if she thinks, like, oh, if I'm hanging out with them, then that means I'm probably just looking as good just as them. Not that I'm saying I need my validation from my friends, because I don't seek validation about whether they think I'm pretty or not, because it doesn't matter. It matters what I think of myself. But I feel like, to me, it makes more sense personally, and this is just how I am, and I cannot speak for most women, but I feel like most women probably think like me. When you look on Instagram, you don't see all these badass chicks hanging out with ugly girls. They're usually all around the same of badness. Now, let's keep it real. When you're looking at pictures of people and you see groups of people, women out at brunch, lunches, vacations, they all equally look the same.
I mean, Deidre, it's potato now, because
I'm going to show you when we get off of here.
I just feel,
and regardless of that, has nothing to even do with friendship.
Yeah, no, it does have something to do with friendship. Because remember I told you about in the beginning that, like, women, it's the outside appearance for you guys. That's a big deal for you.
When you're younger. I would say when you're younger, it makes more of a difference about how you look, because that it probably is what I'm saying. Like, well, if she's beautiful, I feel like it does make a difference, but I think it makes a difference in like, oh, she's ugly, I'm not hanging out with her.
Well, I mean, because women do that because, you know, it's basically a use situation.
Yes.
Like the less attractive person is with that person because when they're around that person, they become more noticeable.
I think so,
Can
but
I
I don't.
talking?
Yeah, just hold on, because I'm going to piggyback off of that, because I would say what you're saying may be true, but I'm going to be honest with you. When I was younger and I was much more immature and I didn't have that maturity level, that would not have been how I made my friends. I would have I'd have like, ew, she's ugly, I don't want to hang out with her. That would have been what I would have been thinking. You're saying that we would have wanted.
So that means that you're shaming again.
I'm not, Cedric, stop trying to put these words into my mouth. I'm trying to do something and you're trying to be funny and it's not funny.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
I'm
saying to you, I could see what you're saying would be more valid if somebody was younger. And I don't think it has to do with her saying, like, I want to be friends with her because she's ugly, she makes me feel good about myself. I feel like it'd be the exact opposite. I feel like most women, and it's kind of bothering me that you're saying these things because you're a man. You don't even know what it's like to even be a woman, but yet you have all of these ideas of what you think it is, and it's like you're not even a woman and you think this way. And I'm trying to tell you more of what I'm thinking, but you're not listening, and that's the problem that I'm having with you. It's like, how are you going to tell me, a woman, what I went through when I was younger and going through now?
I never said anything about what you went through.
But you're saying like that's what they're doing. You're speculating. You're not a woman. Because that's like me trying to tell you about what a man is going to do in a friendship. I can never tell you that because I'm not a man. And so I'm trying to tell you to listen, but you don't want to because you have it in your mind of what you think it is, which is not the case.
Okay.
When I was younger, I would have been more like the person that, like I was trying to say, is that if she was less attractive, I probably wouldn't have wanted to be friends with her because I'm thinking, oh, she's not even that good looking. Like, why would I want to be friends with her? That was more or less what I would think when I was younger. It was never, oh, she's ugly, so she makes me feel good about myself. Women are very much like, what can I get out of this friendship? Right. And if she's ugly, you're not getting anything out of it.
But Deidre, you're proving my point because whether you're tall, skinny,
I said
fat,
when I was younger.
No, this is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Whether you have any of these conditions, ugly, fat, whatever, beautiful, whatever title you want to put in there, that don't have anything to do with you being a friend to that person.
Right, but I'm not saying that I did that. I said it would be more of what I would have done when I was younger. I had never in my life ever looked at someone and said, she's ugly, I don't want to be friends with her. I just want to be clear on that. And I don't feel like I even know people that honestly do shit like that. But you seem to be a woman that I don't know about, and you're convinced that that's what us women do.
I mean, I'm coming at it from a male's point of view, like I normally do. And from being a male, when we're in a club and we're looking for females, something that you don't think about, we're looking at groups of females here, groups of females here, 1 or 2 females here, 1 or 2 females here. And typically, you do run. I'm not saying that it's not out of the realm of possibility to run against a group of beautiful women at the table. I'm not saying that. But more often than not, you're going to run into a situation where you have a really attractive person, whether almost on the opposite scale of attraction. So.
But have you ever thought maybe that woman sees herself in a different way? Just because she's beautiful doesn't mean that she thinks she's beautiful.
Well, I'm just saying. The only reason I'm saying that is because I know that it's a two-way street with this friendship. The beautiful woman is that, or I'm not even gonna say she's beautiful. Let's just say she's at average. Okay. And so with her being next to this less than average chick, she's gonna look like she's above average because everybody's gonna say, if I have to pick between the two, I'm not going to pick her. I'm gonna pick the one that's average, that's now looking more than average. This is how.
And and I'm saying to you as a woman, and this is the part that I'm having such an issue with you is because you think that because that's what you think, that's what the reality is, and you're not even a woman. It's like you're trying to mansplain something to me right now, and it's very annoying. And I'm trying to tell you, that is not the case. I feel like if women were going to do something like that, it would be more beneficial to go somewhere with somebody that looked better than you.
No. You think I'm disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with that. But you're only talking about from your point of view, DJ.
And you're only talking about it from yours. At least my point of view is from the point of view of the person that we're talking about. I'm a woman.
I know that, but you don't look at things like I see it because I'm a man looking for women.
Right, but your whole connotation is that that women are going out of their way to find less than attractive women to go on.
I never said that they was going out of their way. What I'm saying to you is women, like this whole thing started because I said that women are more on the outside. They look at the friendship. It starts
Maybe
with the
when
outside.
they're younger, they do.
Okay, I'm just saying. Just listen to what I'm saying. The friendship start with how you look first. Now, for men, it never starts off that way.
And I'm telling you, maybe when they were younger, it might have. But you're saying that it all starts that way, and that's the issue that I'm having with you. Because none of the friendships that I've ever made in my entire life have I ever said to them, she's not that attractive looking, so I don't want to be friends with her. Or she isn't that attractive, so I do want to be friends with her. It's never been the reason why I've been friends with people.
Okay, so you're trying to say that you never say, I want to be somebody's friend because they was attractive and they did look
I've
good?
never looked at him like that.
I'm just asking.
No, I haven't.
Okay, thank you. So my thing is, Deidre, I am not saying I can speak for women. What I'm saying,
it sounds like it.
What I'm saying is, coming from a male's point of view, when you are out and about and you are in mingling situations, whether it's a bar or a club or whatever, you see this a lot more common than not that women are with other women because they want to be the can I finish talking?
Go ahead, because yes, go.
Because most women want the spotlight to be all on them.
I don't agree with that.
Can I finish talking? And if they with somebody, if you have to pick between the two, I don't really think it's like the super gorgeous woman that's going to be with a fat woman, because obviously she's already got everything. She don't need to have that crutch. But some women probably would need that crutch, and they probably would be next to somebody that's 400 pounds to be able to have that. People look at her, and I'm not saying this in all situations.
And I don't think it's in a lot of the situations. I think that's just what you think. And I feel like, have you ever thought maybe that they're friends with these people because they're more easier to be friends with?
And that might be the case too. And I'm not saying that that's not the case. But what I'm saying to you is, for women, one of the things that I feel like they trying to be friends, the competition has to go away.
But it's not even about competition. Like you said, if this woman is average or above average, she might be a high maintenance friend. And sometimes people don't want to be friends with people like that.
If you got all the answers,
I didn't say I had. You're the one that said you got all the answers. You were convinced that the only reason why women are friends with people like that is because they make them feel better about themselves when they go out. As if that's the only thing that we do with our friends is go out.
Well, yeah, no, not now. You're married. It's different than you being single and you being married.
So women do other things besides going to the club.
Well, I know that, but just like I said, it was at the gym. Just like I just told you, it was an attractive woman next to some 400-pound chick. I'm just saying to you, Deidre, that it is never equally yoked a lot of times with women. Like for men, we don't care. We don't care if this dude is fat, ugly, more attractive, less, whatever. He's cool. He's with the homies. We're going out. We're having a good time. For women, it's more of how do we look.
No, because and I wish you would stop saying for women, because you're not a woman. You should just say from what you think is your perspective of a woman, because this is what's irritating my whole entire asshole right now, is because you keep saying what you think you know. You're not a woman. Okay. What you're doing right now is called mansplaining. You're trying to tell me, us women, what we are doing and why we're doing it, when you don't even fucking know. You're not a woman.
Okay, so then, because I'm not a woman, well then tell me.
I've already told you. I tried to tell you, but you keep thinking that what you're saying is right.
No, tell me why y'all guys have a hard time with friendships then.
Because we don't trust other people. It has nothing to do with how she looks. I have never in my life made a friendship with somebody based off of how they looked.
So you never said, "Oh, she's beautiful," or she's
no.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying that she was beautiful or pretty. I have some friends that I don't think is that attractive, but that had nothing to do with why I'm friends with them. And I have some friends that I think are gorgeous, but it had no reason to.
You are an anomaly when it comes to.
No, I'm not. I just think that you think that because it's how you think that's how it is.
No, because when I look at women and women's problems with friendship, is because women are in competition with each other, and it starts with the outside. Because before you even, if you met a person over the telephone and you've never seen how they look, it's different. Because now you're meeting the person for who they are. But if you meet somebody, or if you see somebody in person, now all of a sudden it's the judgment game. Because now all of a sudden you're seeing, oh, she's better looking than me, or oh, I got this over her. Or this is crazy how much competition it is between y'all guys. And it's like, y'all guys, why do y'all spend 3 hours getting ready? Because y'all know when y'all leave out the door, it may be some competition about who I perceive myself or how good I look to these other women, whatever the case is. to the other women. For men, we don't have that issue. That's
why do you iron your clothes when you leave the house? If you didn't care, because you iron your clothes for you because you care about.
Yeah, I mean, my presentation.
That's not right. It is a presentation.
Okay, but
I'm not going outside with my bonnet and my robe on.
No, but I'm not going outside with my chest out. I'm not going outside with my butt cheeks hanging out either.
I don't do any of that either.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just giving you an example because that's what women do. You look at, if I pull up on Instagram right now, everybody's half naked on it. So they know that they gotta look like this to get man's attention. They're not dressing up in a business suit thinking they finna get 100,000 million likes. That's just not gonna happen that way. And that's the only thing I'm trying to get you to understand is that if we was to go to a club or a bar or any sort of type of social setting, you're going to see that. You're going to see butt cheeks out. You're going to see titties out. That's just, it is what it is. But you never go into these situations. You don't ever see men with their chest out or any type of article or body part showing outside their arms, maybe, and maybe if it's warm outside, their legs. That's the only thing I'm saying.
Okay.
And so by saying that is that y'all guys, and I'm not saying this is you in particular because I'm not arguing with what you're saying, but most women are in competition. That's the reason why y'all having a hard time meeting friends, because it starts here first and then it goes to the other. But it has
nothing to do with how they look. That's what I'm trying to get you to listen to what I'm saying. But you're so like, no, I know what I'm talking about because I'm a man telling you about yourself, you woman. That is not how it is. I don't look at women and how she looks as my competition, because she gets somebody that looks like a garbage bag could come up in here and take you if she wanted to.
Yeah, I just think that your maturity level is way superior than most people. Now,
I don't think it has anything to do with maturity, because
in the beginning we did talk about that. We said that in the beginning of this podcast.
Yes.
The maturity level of most women are not there. And I'm not saying to you, Deidre, that women can't have this. And I'm not saying I know everything about women. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making to you is that y'all guys are having a hard time with finding other women.
Right, but
more so that it's becoming an issue.
But it doesn't have anything to do with her looks, because let's be clear, a woman, she still has a vagina and she still has a mouth. Mm-hmm. And those are the most two important things to a man, a straight man. So it don't got nothing to do with how she looks, because when the lights are off and the clothes is off, it's all going to feel the same to y'all regardless. So she could be the baddest bitch in the club and she could be the ugliest one in the club, and she could still take you if she was confident enough with who she was. So I'm trying to get you to understand, it has nothing to do with how she looks. I don't put nothing past nobody. If she's beautiful, ugly, fat, skinny, it don't matter. It ain't got nothing to do with the competition. It just has to do with who are you as a person.
Okay.
And if I am not vibing with you, if you giving me some kind of funny ways about you, I'm not fucking with you regardless of who you are.
Right. And so I got a question for you. So if I was on Instagram and you see me looking at some woman that is unattractive and don't got no type of body, you probably look at that and be like, oh, you're looking at that, and you move on, right?
I would feel the same way regardless, because why are you looking at him like that? But
okay.
Second, because I know you. She ain't got to be that good looking. As long as her ass is fat, that's all you really care about.
Deidre, that's the point. That's not the point I'm making.
No, that is the point. Because I know because you always tell me, specifically with you, so I don't know if you're going to try to contradict yourself right now, but you'll always tell me, you're always so conservative of how somebody looks. It ain't got nothing to do with how somebody looks. Somebody could take your man as how she treats you, and blah, 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 blah. So I know for a fact, if you were looking at somebody, she probably might not even be that good looking. It's probably because she got some big ass titties, she's thick, and she's got a fat ass.
Oh, of course. All men don't look at her.
So it don't matter.
No. But I'm saying to you, if she didn't have none of that,
you wouldn't be looking at her.
Okay, I'm just
then
saying.
I wouldn't feel any way. No. But it had nothing to do with how she looked, her face. No, it had to do with her ass and probably her titties.
And that's what I'm saying for you guys. Like, this.
But that's you. You're not a friend. I'm not. Her titties and her ass ain't got shit to do with me and being a friend with her. What the fuck do I care about her ass and titties?
I agree. I disagree with what you said.
Am I gonna motorboat her? So it doesn't even matter. I don't care.
I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying you shouldn't care. But just like I said before, y'all guys are struggling with the friendship aspect, and y'all struggling because of multiple reasons. I'm not saying I have all the reasons. I'm not some type of Dr. Phil out here that just know all the answers. I'm just saying I believe, in my opinion as a man, that it starts with the outside appearance is one of the issues.
It may be one, but that is not
I think that the maturity level is another issue. I think that who you are as a person is another one.
I think it has to do with who. I think mostly, honestly, it has to do with who you are as a person. I think it has to do with how you carry yourself.
Yep.
I don't like to be surrounded by women who like to be involved in drama. I feel like I am one of the least most drama-filled person you will ever meet. And I know typically when people say that they are always drama-filled. But I'm not. How much drama have I ever been in with since I've known you? Not a lot. I can't deal with it. I like to see that shit online, but I don't like it in my personal life. And nobody that I know is drama-filled. And I think that's a lot to do with it. I think, if you're a chill person, if you're trying to be friends with somebody that's always got dramas, blowing your phone up, telling you to come meet her down here because somebody's trying to jump her or fight her, that's not something that I even want to be dealing with. And I think that's more or less what it all comes down to. Who are you as a person, and how do we mesh together?
And I think that what you're looking at it as in the aspect of how it should be looked at. And I'm not saying to you that all your points that you was making wasn't accurate, because I think that women should look at things that way, but it's not the case in reality. In reality, it's never like that, because most women like drama. They like being a part of some type of situation, whether it's I'm taking your man or I look better than you, or whatever the case is. It is a layer of competition that should be
a layer of competition, but I'm saying I just don't look at it for that aspect. I've never ever, and I'm being 100% real, I've never in my life looked at somebody and been like, oh, she's cute, I want to be friends with her, or she's ugly, I don't want to be friends with her. It was more or less like, she annoys me, so I don't want to be friends with her. She doesn't annoy me, so I do want to be friends with her.
And I think that the friendships probably start off that way, yes. But what oftentimes will happen is how a person make you feel.
Right.
And
if I meet you right away and there's something about you I don't like, I'm probably not going to fuck with you. It had nothing to do with how you looked. It was just the way I felt when I was around you.
Right. And so the struggles that y'all guys are having is like, how do you overcome that?
I mean, I think for some people you just got it, because I know there's like a lot of women who say like, oh, well, there's a meme that'll be like, when I first met you, I thought you were a bitch. And that's like that running joke with women, like, I thought you were a bitch. I thought you were a bitch too. But they managed to, probably still hang on. Maybe it was a situation where it was like boyfriends were friends. Or our boyfriends were friends. Uh-huh. And she's not going anywhere, because when y'all hang out, you bringing her around. And at first we didn't like each other. We just kind of saw each other or whatever. But over time, you started to actually see, oh, she's actually not that bad of a person. I think we gotta get out of our own way of it, and I'm saying to you, it has nothing to do with looks. We have to get out of our own way of being like, well, she looks like a bitch, so she probably is a bitch, and I'm just not gonna even go there. Which, I mean, I get it, because if somebody's looks like a bitch, I'm not gonna. I guess that's not true, because I do have a pretty strong resting bitch face. But
last time I checked, you wasn't the smiliest motherfucker I know.
And I will never be the most smiliest motherfucker you ever know. But I just think that women, we just gotta learn to smile. I don't know, but I feel like women, we know that about each other. Lots of women have lots of resting bitch faces, and
but if somebody comes to you extra smiley, you gonna think you're not gonna like that person either.
That's not true. I have some happy-go-lucky people in my life, and I'm just like, look at you, just being exhaustingly happy all the time.
Why is this person so happy?
Yes. But but I feel like opposites attract, and I feel like you need somebody that's like that, because she might bring you out of your shell and make you smile a little, kind of like smirk, not a smile, but get a little smirk out of you. But
so we need to wrap this up, because I mean, obviously, I have my points of views about why women have a hard time, and obviously, us as men don't have that issue, because we don't look at each other as competition amongst each other. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know how to solve, because I tried to say with my piece, and obviously I'm not a woman, so I don't have no credibility there.
I didn't. Well, I mean, in a sense, you don't.
Oh wait, no, I'm never saying I was, but I was just saying my point of view, coming from a male.
But you make it okay, whatever. Yes.
I'm just saying, coming from a male, I'm just saying, obviously, it's some things that I think that y'all guys can do that can increase y'all odds of getting friendships.
I think women just need to get out of our own way. We need to be a little bit more softer with each other, because we're soft when it comes to men. We just melt in y'all's hands like butter, but we're a lot more aggressive when it comes to women.
Yeah, because competition.
Yes,
because
but I'm trying to wrap it up, Cedric. Okay. I'm saying, I feel like to the women out there who don't have a lot of friends, you need to stop saying you don't like people, because that's very counterproductive. You do like people, you just don't like certain people. And I feel like, what?
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, I feel like you do like people, and nobody wants to be lonely, and obviously everybody wants to have friends, because you can't just have a husband or a girlfriend or a boyfriend that satisfies you, because that's just not reality. You need other people outside of your lives to fulfill you. And I just think that, you just gotta, I don't know, put yourselves out there a little bit more. I put myself out there when it comes to friends. Because I don't, there's a lot of people out there. If you don't like me, I can just keep moving.
Right, but what you're not saying is that I have a sign of maturity that most women don't have, and I'm able to be open-minded about the situation going into it. I don't really have these prejudgments about like this I
mean, I have prejudgments. Let's be real. But I don't let it stop me from doing the things that I want to do.
You don't walk into it with this unspoken competition level. I mean, it just, y'all guys got too many things going on. But just like I said, that's y'all issue. Y'all figure it out. To the men out there, keep up the good work.
Oh my God.
We don't have an issue with this friendship thing because we never did. It's either you roll with this dude or you don't roll with this dude. Some of the guys that you mess with, it is what it is. If you're gonna have a crew of guys, obviously, if y'all going in the right direction, it's good. But if you got a crew of guys that's going in a different direction, hopefully you can be able to say something about that, according to Deidre. So
you should be able to.
Yep. So with that being said,
peace, love, and hair grease.
All right, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast.
Thanks for rocking with this video all the way to the end. We also have this podcast on Apple, Anchor, and Spotify. You can also rock out with us on Facebook and Instagram. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks very much for y'all guys' support. We'll see you on the next one.
Listen to my thoughts, true facts you'll find.